Azjol Nerub is the first dungeon in Dragonblight. It's a 3-boss dungeon. It contains one of the hardest Glory of the Hero achievements, which you're going to need to get your mount, and it also has an incredible tanking trinket called Essence of Gossamer, which almost every tank is going to want. The first boss you're going to come against is Krik'thir the Gatewatcher. It's got Curse of Fatigue, which is AoE shadow damage, dealing roughly 5k to all within 5 yards of the target. It also decreases movement, attack, and casting speed by 30% for 10 seconds. It's then got a Mind Flay, which it casts at a target, dealing 13 to 15k total damage over 3 seconds. And then it's got a Frenzy, which it will do at 10% health, which increases attack speed by 50% and physical damage dealt by 100%. Be sure to use cooldowns there. It also has 3 mini-bosses called Watcher Gashra, Watcher Nargil, and Watcher Silithik. All of these are part of the achievement, but let's talk about them individually first. They share the abilities Infected Bite, which deals 5k nature damage and applies a dot, increasing physical damage taken by 30%, and it deals 2k damage a second, roughly. They all have Web Wrap, which wraps a player, stunning them for 10 seconds, and this is breakable. And then each of them have one ability that's specific to them. So Watcher Gashra has an Enrage, increasing attack speed by 300%, but it does reduce physical damage dealt by 50%. This is for 8 seconds. Watcher Nargil has Blinding Webs, which disorientates all nearby players for 4 seconds. Damage does break this. And Watcher Silithik, which does Poison Spray, dealing around 3k nature damage and applies a dot, dealing 1.5k nature damage every 3 seconds for 10 seconds. For the basic tactics, without worrying about the achievement, you need to kill the Watchers and the adds that they stand with on their own, and you'll kill the boss separately. Firstly though, be careful for Watcher Nargil, as the Disorientate effect will break on damage, and Nargil will attack any target that isn't disorientated if the tank is disorientated. Be sure to pull the Watchers plus the adds back to not pull any of the others. On the boss, just stack loosely around the boss and pull the boss to the middle of the room. The boss spawns lots of small adds that do negligible damage but are irritating. They'll likely hit the healer due to the healer aggro and disrupt casts. Be sure to AoE on the floor around the boss to pick up and kill these adds really quick. Other than that, the boss is a tank and spank with a nasty Enrage at 10%. Nuke it and get that loot. Now for the hardest achievement, arguably, out of all of the Glory of the Hero achievements. So the achievement is called Watch Him Die, and it's to kill the boss whilst all 3 Watchers are alive. So I'm going to give you a couple of ways to do this. The first way, which is probably the safest, is just to pull a Watcher back with its 2 adds, kill the 2 adds, and then pull the next pack. So you're just going to keep each Watcher from each pack alive whilst you clear out all the other adds. At which point, once you've cleared the last 2 adds out, so you've now got all 3 Watchers on you, there'll be a lot of irritating mechanics going around, so you're going to have to be ready with personal cooldowns and stuff, but then it is just nuking the boss while hopefully not dying to the Watchers. And the second option is probably what we're going to see the vast majority of people do, and that is nuke it down. So yes, just ignore everything and just go in pop lust or heroism and just full nuke the boss and hope you kill it before you all die. I really do see, as people start getting gear, this is going to be the easiest way to do it, because if you have got something like a shaman that's going to bring bloodlust and be able to pop their earth elemental, as well as say a prot warrior for the highest amount of damage, a resto druid to ensure that you're getting healed even when you're disorientated or stunned, it really will come down to group composition, but I would say just nuking is definitely going to be the best way. Hadronox is the next boss, which is a really, really big spider, but I hope you ain't scared of spiders. It doesn't really have too many abilities. It's got Acid Cloud, where it just spawns a cloud of poison on the floor, dealing X amount of nature damage. And then it's got Leech Poison, where the boss puts a poison on all nearby enemies, leeching 1,000 health a second and healing the boss for 10% of his maximum health if you happen to die with the poison on you. It's got Pierce Armor, which just pierces the target's armor by 50% for 8 seconds. And it's got Web Grab, which pulls a player into the boss, dealing 5k damage. The tactics for this is fairly basic. A Poison Dispel class is extremely helpful here. Again, Shaman's Rule because of Bloodlust and Poison Cleansing Totem, periodically dispelling everyone to reduce the healing to the boss and damage to the group. Wait for the adds to clear entirely before engaging the boss. Try to spread out so multiple people aren't hit by acid clouds. Dispel the Leech Poison if possible. Beware of tank damage after a Pierce Armor effect, and move away after the grabs. Aside from that, really, you're just nuking. You want to kill it quicker than it heals. The achievement for this boss is probably one of the more annoying ones. It's to actually kill the boss before before he web wraps his lair closed. Hadronox will run into the room with an army of spiders following. When the spiders die, they heal the boss for 10% of his max health, and he will be either impossible to kill or he'll survive long enough to web the room closed. There's two tactics for this one. The first one, even though I've not tested it, so I'm not 100% sure if it will work when it goes live, but it's definitely worth a try, is to pull the first pack of ads and reset them using a Hunter's Feign Death, a Rogue Vanishing, or even a Night Elf using Shadow Meld. Run all the way to the back of the room where Hadronox spawns in and nuke like hell as soon as he respawns. The second way, probably the official way, the way you're actually meant to do it, is as soon as Hadronox is in the room, before he's even stopped moving, attack the boss. This requires extreme burst. You'll definitely want Bloodlust and absolutely no AoE, as killing any of the spiders will likely cause the boss to chain heal. So you want to go full, pure single target with absolute minimal amounts of cleave, because all of the little spiders around him are going to be poisoned, and every time they die, he will heal for 10% max health. So it is a case of just storming straight in, pulling the boss, single target with a Bloodlust, nuke it down as quick as possible, if the cheesy Vanish Feign Death strategy doesn't work for you. And finally, probably the most irritating boss out of all dungeons, if I'm completely honest, is Anub'arak. So he's got a burrow that he does at 75, 50 and 25% health, where he burrows underground and becomes invulnerable to damage. He's also got Carrion Beetles, which will summon while he's burrowed. He's got Leeching Swarm, which again, while he's burrowed, he'll do an aura dealing 350 nature damage every second for 15 seconds. He's got a Pound, which whilst not burrowed, he'll do a frontal cone attack, and this is avoidable. He's got Spikes, where he just spawns a spike out the floor and it'll knock you up in the air if you stood on him. And he also spawns bats and elite ads throughout the fight. It's a very simple fight, but it is very irritating. So the tactics are quite simple. Just avoid the frontal cone in front of the boss when he's casting Pound. Drop enough AoE to kill off the non-elite ads. When the boss is burrowed, focus down all the elite ads that spawn and don't stand on spikes. It really is that easy. And for the achievement, you need to kill Anub'arak in 4 minutes. This is probably one of the easiest achievements out of all the meta achievements. This will be likely achieved passively if your group has any gear at all. The DPS required to do this is very minimal. It's about phasing the boss into burrow phases as quickly as possible. And that's it. That's Azjol Nerub. Going to be tearing through all these dungeon guides so you can get all your meta achievements planned out, how you're going to do them so you can get your Drake in week 1. Why not? Get it really, really fast. So be sure to like and subscribe and roll the outro. There's lots of ways you can support the channel to keep me here putting out World of Warcraft content and covering all future MMOs. Consider joining the channel as a member. You get access to emotes. Everyone will know you're a member when you comment on future videos because you get a nice icon next to your name. And you get access to members-only videos, which I'll be putting a lot of on the channel throughout the year. Additionally, there's a Patreon link in the description as well. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.